We're going to start our course off in talking about democratic life skills. This is sort of the introduction and the framework with which we're going to operate through the rest of this class. We're going to first start with a quote from John Dewey. "I believe that school is primarily a social institution. Education being a social process, the school is simply a form of community life in which all those agencies are concentrated that will be the most effective in bringing the child to share in the inherited resources of the race and to use his own powers for social ends. I believe that education, therefore, is a process of living and not a preparation for future living." So this quote is from John Dewey. And it really speaks to, we are not educating children just for the adults they will become. We are honoring who they are now and the growth process that they live in now. As you know, Dan Gartrell is our textbook author. He is also the resident expert on guidance for the National Association for the Education of Young Children. It's also known as NAEYC. NAEYC is our national accrediting body in early childhood, which includes Front Range. Front Range Early Childhood Program is accredited with NAEYC, as are many preschool programs throughout our state and throughout the country. Gartrell is as that resident expert, is the biggest proponent of, or the strongest voice for guidance and how that differs from other strategies in supporting children. So we're going to talk a little bit about democratic life skills. And these are the emotional and social capacities that are needed for children, adults, to function in society. So you can see that page 5 of the textbook is a reference here, where the emphasis is really placed here on social learning is as important, maybe even more important than academic learning. That there must be equal emphasis placed on these softer skills as well as those ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. So by softer skills, we really mean how we get along with others, how we work with others that are around us. That includes how our actions impact others, and what ownership we have on strong relationships. So we can all think of someone who is just extraordinarily smart, brilliant, but really struggles in getting along with others or working in groups or teams. We want for all of our children, both now and in adulthood, to really be able to use their full capacity of working with one another. So that's really the aim of democratic life skills. Of course, to meet the needs of all children and support building democratic life skills, we need to make sure that there are authentically strong home-school relationships and that both parties are respectful partners. So this is not just, oh, we need parents to do X, Y, or Z so their child can be successful at school. It's really understanding the child and the family and supporting them in their home lifestyle and culture and respecting that at school, and then vice versa. Also, the curriculum and the pedagogy need to align with the principles of developmentally appropriate practice. Within this class, we will talk a lot about developmentally appropriate practice as it relates to guidance. There is a broader view of DAP, developmentally appropriate practice, taught in all of our classrooms as it relates to various stages and areas of development. And then we also need to really understand the role of the teacher-child relationship and how that guides children towards pro-social behaviors. The modeling and the respect, the patience, and the understanding from teachers that build that relationship with children to help grow their behaviors. So the first democratic life skill that we will talk about here is the acceptance of each member as a worthy individual. Every child is a worthy individual. So this happens through secure attachments with significant adults. Now notice I didn't say here secure attachments with parents. This all adults in a child's life, or as many adults in a child's life as possible, should help create those secure attachments. And that is done through emotional acceptance from these significant adults. So as teachers, this is a big role that we take on, that we must accept children on an emotional level for who they are and who they will become. And that will ensure secure attachments in that classroom environment. Democratic life skill 2 is helping children learn to express those strong emotions in non-hurting ways. Now notice I did not say here regulating strong emotions or reducing strong emotions. This is about accepting that all people have a right to those strong emotions, and they must express them in ways that are not impactful in a hurtful way on others. That can be emotionally hurtful, physically hurtful. So for this one, it's really about helping the child manage that emotion, use that emotion to get a need met, again, without aggression. And when and if children have aggression, not using the aggression to define the child, but to see the child as who they are, and that the aggression is a form of communication that we really need to listen to help them move beyond that. Democratic life skill 3 is about helping children solve problems creatively and independently as well as in cooperation with others. So this is about modeling and teaching concrete strategies for children to serve interpersonal conflicts. We often assume that people come into this world knowing how to solve conflicts or to be in relationship with others, and that's often not true. That we need to learn from others those strategies that can help us solve problems. We also need to accept that human qualities are unique in others, and we need to teach children to accept that. So related to this, we need to promote and appreciate inclusion across all types of people. That includes the big ones that you think of: gender, race, socioeconomic status, class, but there are many others as well. Every individual has unique human qualities, and how do we tap into our appreciation of all of those and then teach children a genuine appreciation, not just a live and let live philosophy of people are different, they will be different, so be it. But people are different. How do we embrace them? Warmth, kindness, caring, and use their uniqueness to grow our community. Democratic life skill 5 is about thinking intelligently and ethically. So this is about helping children move towards autonomy as opposed to heteronomy. So heteronomy means that someone behaves in a way that they think others want them to behave, typically because they don't want to get in trouble. So I do what the teacher tells me to because I don't want to get in trouble. Me personally, I stop at stoplights because I don't want to get a ticket. Versus autonomy. Autonomy is doing the right thing just because it's the right thing to do, because I know inside myself it's the right thing to do. This is when children act altruistically, meaning children will do something caring and kind or respectful of others, even when they don't even think the teacher is watching, whether it's caring for someone when they're injured or feelings are hurt, or it's voluntarily including someone in their play without doing it just because they think the teacher is going to praise them or they might get in trouble if they don't do that. So the flip side of the stoplight scenario is I stop at a stoplight because it's safe for myself and those driving around me if I heed that stoplight and wait for a green light. So that concludes our framework around democratic life skills to really get us up and going around the topic of guidance. You'll see I listed as a reference here an article written by Dan Gatrell, Education for a Civil Society. You can find it on the NAEYC, N-A-E-Y-C website if you are interested in looking at that more closely. I look forward to continuing to explore democratic life skills and what that means to the guidance classroom as we move forward in this course.